everybody, welcome. I'm glad you like it. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks Podcast, episode 140. I'm your host, Jim Edwards, along with my co-host and trusty podcast producer, Mr. Stu Smith. Welcome, Stu.
Welcome, Jim. Thank you for having me.
Say so. The show wouldn't exist without you. I can tell you that. We'd still be on episode 2. And so I just want to say that it's pretty freaking cool that we are at episode 140. Holy crap. I don't even remember what we talked about. We could go back and just start redoing past episodes and no one would even notice. But that's super cool. So what are we talking about today, Stu?
Well, a few weeks ago on the last podcast, remember that chart you came up with?
Uh-huh.
That was a really good chart. It was about all the different ways to create content marketing. And I thought podcast 140 should be kind of explaining that just a little bit more in detail and maybe even digging a little deeper, taking one piece of content and let's make it 10 different methods repurposed.
Okay.
So if you want, I'll share my screen with you and just show you the what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that would be great because I'm trying to find the thing we did before.
You'll see it.
Okay.
You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second.
All right.
So can you see this?
I can.
You want me to make it bigger?
No, it's fine. It's funny. I did the exact same thing with the exact same piece of software. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so
awesome.
Yeah, you made this the other day. I added a few more things because I was like, oh, we got to add webinar in there. I forgot all about that as a mode. So remember you had message, channel, and mode.
Okay.
And the types of messages you were talking about, kind of like the MTV being the abbreviated version. This was everything. This was a tip, an opinion, a review, a critique, a list, a rant, a secret, curated material, a demonstration, and then, of course, article and a blog post. That's your message. And then you got channels, all your social media channels you can name, blog, post, email, newsletter. Do you remember this, what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And absolutely.
I posted this up on the Facebook group as well and just said, let's think about how we're going to do this and use all of these as a way, if you're really having like, a writer's block or something, you can think of this can open up more than 600 combinations for you.
Well, I think also if you wanted to just over there to the left, is what we talked about on the Jim and Stu show about questions, quotes, and then even just questions and quotes. What if we think about, okay, what would, it's almost like, give me a second here. And yes, I'm thinking out loud and I hope that's okay. But you know what? It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want. But is it okay if I do some thinking out loud here, Steve?
Sure. I can see it.
Okay. So I'm going to do something kind of cool here. I'm going to take the thing that you were sharing and I'm going to stop sharing your thing real quick. Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
And so we're going to take this and we're going to expand on it. So look at this. Put this over here and we're going to add that to our little board. Now it's on the board. So you guys saw that on Stu's thing. But if we got message channel mode, then what we got is idea And then we got script / wizard. So the idea could come from a question. The idea could come from, and maybe do I need to write louder? Do I need to write bigger?
I can see it.
Okay, so it could come from a question. It could come from a quote. It could come from a phrase. Where else do ideas come from, or where else?
The nether regions.
Okay, inspiration. Yeah, potty time while I'm sitting on the can. Some of my best ideas come from, and we need an acronym for this, but they come when I'm walking. They come not when I'm running, but when I'm walking. When I'm running, I'm focused on like running. But when I'm walking, ideas come in the shower or on the pot. Those are the three main sources of idea generation for me. Maybe it's because I'm clearing my head.
Mine is swimming.
Okay.
Because staring at that black line forever is, just you just start going into your happy place, start thinking, and riding in a car by myself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes also when reading a book.
Oh, sure.
If I'm reading a book, but basically it's a question, it's a quote, it's a phrase, it's some sort of inspiration. All right. That's the idea. Where else can ideas for creating content come from?
Did you see Carlin's comment?
He said, what about a roulette randomizing scripts to mix them up? One arm banded script from Vegas. Actually, Carlin, that's a great thought, and it's going through my head right now. And if the content marketing manager is a script that will do that. It's inside of Content Marketing Scripts, which you have access to because you're in the Jim Edwards Method Premium. But yes, I've been thinking about that as well. That's why I'm trying to come up with this, because I can come up with a script. Okay, so, but an idea for it, and Leslie said ideas have come from you guys, honestly. Okay, so it's a question, it's a quote, it's a phrase, it's inspiration. It's wherever the idea comes from. All right. And also there are wizards, can come from a thing, can come from an experience. Okay. I'm not
conversation with somebody.
Conversation. Right. So I guess what I'm looking for though here, if we're going to think this through, and I am thinking, an actual thing that you could use as the stimulus, as the idea, the focus of the thing. A question, definitely, because a question always needs a what? An answer. It needs an answer. A quote makes you think of stuff. A phrase, same thing. A phrase, a word. That's why the word of the day. Some sort of inspiration from somewhere. But again, this is, if I had to say what this is actually the source of the idea. You know what? So maybe this isn't the idea, but rather source. This is these are source. So I'm going to take these out because these aren't what I'm looking for. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm looking for, but, a question, a quote, a phrase, someone else's content, or a reaction, an opinion. Well, I don't know. I got to think on this, because this isn't really the idea. This is what would we say? A question, a quote, a phrase. It's like, this is the stimulus. This is the method. This is the
topic.
No, it's not the topic. It's the it's like it's the seed of the idea. It's the seed of what you're going to create the content around, but that's not the topic. It's the, I don't know. It's like I have this question is what I'm going to make my content about. This quote is what I'm going to make my content about. This phrase, this word, this thing. Carlin said it's a theme. No.
Let me tell you something that I did yesterday.
Okay.
I was on TikTok, and there's always somebody, that's a swimmer saying, "What is this?" I'm showing this combat side stroke, right?
Right.
What is this thing? And it was a question like, why does the military use this and not traditional swimming strokes for a fitness test to get these jobs? Right. It was a great question. So I just texted that to myself or emailed it to myself, and that is my topic for today. It wasn't necessarily a question directed at me. It was just a question about two different possibilities, coming from someone who doesn't know. This guy is a swimmer, but has never seen the combat side stroke before.
Okay, in 60 seconds or less, why does the military use the combat swimmer stroke or the combat side stroke as opposed to regular strokes?
It is more stealthy and it makes less noise.
Okay.
So, and at night, it looks like a critter in the water. It doesn't look like a human in the water.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
is it easier to maintain? Is it easier to maintain over a longer duration than a traditional swimming stroke?
Absolutely, and more efficient.
Okay, so that just made me think of, a question, a quote, a phrase, a word, someone's comment, other content. This is the stimulus. This is the stimulus. There's a question I want to answer. There's a quote. There's a phrase. There's a whatever. Okay. And then the script or wizard that you're going to use, we got 50 of them. In the Jim Edwards method, literally there's 50 scripts inside of content marketing scripts. I think there's like 15 or 16. Okay. And we're going to be adding a new one every quarter. But this right here, if you kind of know how to recognize it's a seed of an idea, and let's call it an idea seed. Some kind of a stimulus that starts the whole thing. I guess this could be the idea. It's
right.
This is ideation. Okay, it's ideation, creation, distribution. But then over here, okay, so how does all this stuff tie in? So the message is tip, opinion, review, critique, list, rant, secret, curate, demo, article, blog post. And the blog post thing actually belongs on channel.
Yeah.
So what this would just be article. It would be article.
Right.
The article can be used as a blog post. So that's okay. I mean, that's not, I'm fine tuning this in real time. If anybody's interested, great. If you're not, great. But it's like, okay.
Yeah, I guess it should have just said blog, not blog post. Like an article or a blog. I don't know. No one calls articles anymore. They call them a blog. And I'm like,
I know.
I write articles. I don't write blogs.
I understand. So let me ask you this: where in this does but this channel is distribution.
Yeah.
Okay. The mode. So I'm gonna do something here. And again, if everybody's excited to watch this, great. If you tune out, that's okay. I will continue this.
Or method of distribution, mode of distribution. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I mean,
Yep.
Just going to move this here. And then distribution is the last thing. So I'm going to move this. Am I boring you yet?
No, this is good. I mean, you're trying to figure out an easy way to
explain this stuff.
600 options.
Right, but I'm also trying to make it make sense. So distribution's the last thing. So this is distribution. You're going to put it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, your blog, website, email, newsletter. I'm sure there's some other crap in here, and other, okay, like Medium and things like that. The Pinterest is already on there. So the mode is actually the part of creation. And then the tip or the method or the opinion, the review, the create that's really the angle of creation, if that makes sense.
Sure.
What is it? We'll call this the angle. Okay, so here's what it looks like.
Cool thing about this, Jim, is we're watching your brain work right now.
I know, which probably should scare the shit out of you.
No, it's actually fascinating.
Okay. All right, so there's an idea seed. There's some sort of stimulus. Somebody asks a question. There's a quote. There's a phrase or a word. Someone's comment, other content, whatever. There's some kind of an idea seed. Then you decide. So this is the ideation part, and then the creation part is 3 parts. All right. The creation is. Okay, the angle, and then it's figuring out which script am I going to use to create my tip, my opinion, my review, my critique, my list, my rant, my secret, my curation, whatever. So then it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Then which script do I need? Which script do I need? So what we need to do is take this and make a list of, if you want to do a tip, here are the scripts you would use. I seriously want to do this, Stu. Okay.
I like it. If
you want to do an opinion piece, then this is the script you use. If you want to do a review, if you want to do a critique, these, those might go together. But if you want to do a list, you want to do a rant, you want to secret, curate, demo, article. So what we need to do is figure out, okay, what's the type of angle you want to take? And depending on your angle, here's the script you want to use. Then use a script. So won't worry about it. Okay. I guess if you use 3 fingers, it makes everything disappear. So then it's 1, 2, choose script, or wizard. Then 3, create. It's output.
Yep.
And then distribution. So
nice.
The thing, I kind of knew all this stuff, but seeing it like this, it's like, okay, well, somebody asked this question. Now, in response to this question, do I just want to answer the question, or do I want to take this question and do I want to do like a demo to answer it? What's the best way to answer this question? What's the angle? So here's the stimulus. What's the angle? And then based on that angle, what's the script? I use the script. And then I choose my output, okay, based on the script. So, I mean, these kind of go together. And then I distribute it. And he's starting to crap. He's starting the crap out of. Oh, he's scaring the crap out of normal people? No. This is, I mean, I can make this simple. I got to understand the pattern. Once I understand the pattern, I can make it simple. Hey, if you want to start doing a bunch with questions, like when we talk next time, it's like, hey, if you want to, easiest way, one of the easiest ways to get started is with questions. So if you want to do a question, you want to choose the angle that you're going to do. So the question, you just want to give them a simple, quick answer. Do you want to just give them your opinion about the answer? Do you want to review a product that holds the answer? Do you want to give them a list of answers? Do you want to give a rant about that question? You see what I mean? And then it's like, okay, based on which one you want to do, use one of these scripts to create it. And then once you have output the script, now you can do it as text, depending on the script. They lend themselves other ways, but you could do a quick video, you could do a screen capture, do a demo. So like if I was going to answer a question and give my opinion, I would probably do, I would probably use the 60-second tidbit wizard or the Facebook Live wizard to give my 1, 2, 3 opinion on this whole thing. I would do it as a live video, and then I would put it out there on whatever stuff I chose. If somebody asked a question of, hey, how do you do this, or how are you able to do this? And I'm like, oh, I need to do a demo of a piece of software or wizard, which means I'm going to use the demo wizard to create a really, really cool demo, which that's in funnel scripts. And I'm going to use screen capture video to do that. And then I'm going to distribute it wherever it makes the most sense. So this is creating a framework that I wouldn't really set everybody loose with. This would be like Stu giving everybody a list of exercises and saying, hey, go exercise. What? You know? But now, at least for me, I can see the progression and see the big picture and be able to explain how to do a certain thing. Like you want to do quotes? Great. Quote, you're pretty much going to use the quote wizard. That's a straight line. Yeah. But the cool thing is you can output that as text. You can do it as screen capture video. You could do it as a series of pictures. You could do it as a live video. You could do it as a podcast. You could even do it as a webinar. And then you could distribute it all over the place. So, hey.
You know something I did the other day? I used the quote wizard with a testimonial.
Oh, I know you did. You did a great job on that too, man.
Worked really well, yeah.
And it crushed it. So I'm excited about this because it's now, if you want it, now we talk from a marketing standpoint, we got 5 different main stimulus, okay? We got the different angles. We got that combined with wizards. If I was just talking about, 50 wizards. So we did this math last time, I think, or we didn't do it. I did a bad job with it. But, we got 5 sources of stimulation. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different angles. We got, let's say, 50 scripts. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different outputs. That's 20,000 different combinations. And then distribution and everything else, let's say there's 10. That's 200,000 different combinations.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, content marketing doesn't work. It's boring. It's the same thing over there. But what most people do is that they just do a Facebook Live, and they do a couple Facebook Lives, and then they say, okay, this doesn't work. But the key is understanding where to get some stimulation that anybody gives a crap about, and then tying it in with, what your angle is, and then using the right tools to get it done super fast, outputting it in a way that makes the most sense, and then getting distribution for it and doing it in a time that we're all young enough to see and get results. So I know that this is like this is me thinking right in front of you. Okay. The great news is you didn't have to pay for this. Paid with a little bit of time. And I guarantee, this is inside the mind of Jim. So There you go.
Well, that's what I try to do. I try to show people inside the mind of Jim.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of those open-ended questions, obviously, because you took it and ran with it, and broke it down even more than I thought it could be broken down. So I like that. I'll rearrange the chart as well. I'll post it in the Facebook group so you guys can kind of see it cleaned up a little bit, and maybe we'll discuss it further um, with actual scripts next time.
Yeah, I think if we wanted to talk about just what you said, talking about questions and stuff, questions, quotes, and quick stuff,
Yeah.
We can do that over the next few weeks. That'll keep us busy through this season. So,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Well, that's all I got. That's enough. My brain kind of hurts a little bit, but there you go. Okay. Well, great job, Stu. I know it was just kind of me going off at my whiteboard, but it seems to be what I do lately. That's okay. All right.
We got a few minutes. You got a few comments. Looks like Carlin's got some neat
Carlin said,
progression. Yep.
Using a tree metaphor, root is the ideation stimulus, trunk is the angle, creation script, branches, output, distribution, tree. That's interesting.
I like that metaphor.
He said this process framework overview discussion is the understanding to pull all this together. It's definitely, I could do a $20,000 mastermind on that. Leslie said this is helpful. That's awesome. All right. And Miles says I'm going to scare the crap out of normal people. It's okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's what I got. So appreciate y'all, and we will see you next week on the Jim and Stu Show and the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. And so everybody keep your eye out for the invitation to the Content Marketing Secrets webinar, and we'll see you there.